This is Season 2 of the Books as Bad as Twilight podcast,
where we're reading Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by Jack Thorne.
Visit us at our website, www.BaBaTpodcast.com.
Get lost with us in the magical world of Harry Potter.
Not
Season 2. What are we doing today, Danielle?
Well,
that was dead air. You can't have that on radio.
on this show we can.
Because we edit. You edit, not
I
me.
edit. Well, I edit. Like, I listen, and then I'm like, oh, I don't like that part. Cut it. So, yes. Welcome, everyone, to our show, Books as Bad as Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we should introduce ourselves. My name is Danielle.
And I'm Brittany.
And today we are discussing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Act 2, Scene 1 through 10.
Should we do this whole thing in our NPR voices?
Oh, yes, that's right. Welcome to the show.
I'm Phoebe Judge.
And I'm Phoebe Buffet.
Is that an NPR person?
No, that is a character from the hit sitcom Friends.
Oh.
I am,
disappointed in myself.
I wasn't going to say that, Brittany. How dare you? I was going to say...
disappointed in myself.
Oh, you're disappointed in yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, don't be disappointed in yourself.
My life is just a disappointment. Anyway, welcome to Books as Bad as Twilight. Oh. Who are we sponsored? We're sponsored by someone, correct?
Are we? Yes, we are. We're sponsored by Audible.com. So we're
Happy birthday, Matt. Sorry, go ahead.
Happy birthday, Matt. I don't know who that is.
It's just my friend Matt.
Okay, hi, Matt. Happy birthday.
What's the date?
What's the date?
Yeah.
Today is June 29th. Yeah.
So, happy birthday, Matt. June 29th.
Yes. Oh, that's right. People will know when we're recording.
Exactly.
Oh, so nice.
I'm sure there's a Matt out there somewhere that's having a birthday.
Exactly. Happy birthday, Matt. And so let's quickly talk about our sponsor a little bit before we move into the episode. Our sponsor is Audible.com. If you want to get a free audiobook along with a free 30-day trial, you can go to audibletrial.com/BaBaT. Brittany's making a funny face right now, so we're going to get to that in just one moment. Hang tight.
I was trying to turn the pages quietly.
Oh, that's what you were doing. Okay.
Yeah. Go on about Audible.
All right. So
it has over 180,000 titles.
They do. Oh, good job. And we're going to recommend a book that you probably have all heard of. We're discussing it a little bit today. Harry Potter. Exactly. Harry Potter, the series, 7 books. You should definitely listen to them. All of them. Well, maybe not at the same time. That might not work out.
7 devices
all
playing at the same time.
That is not a good idea. Why would you say that?
Because you want to get through it as fast as possible.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like, if you did that, then but I mean, wouldn't it take time to set
right
up?
To 7. Just jump right to 7. There's nothing you need to know in the first 6 books. 0 information.
I'm just not going to say anything. Check out the Harry Potter books, my friends. You will enjoy them very much if you haven't read them already. And it will help prepare you for the
slaughter of a legendary literary icon.
Yeah, whatever we're reading today.
Which is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Indeed, the play by Jack Thorne.
Not J.K. Rowling.
Correct.
Damn it, Brittany.
You know, it's funny because I was just watching something the other day, and I forget for the life of me what it was. And it was like credible people talking about this book, and they still said Rowling, and they never corrected themselves.
American thing?
No, I think it's just her name's J.K. Rowling. But I think I used to say Rowling all the time until I listened to MuggleNet so much that they basically ingrained it into my head. And I worked for MuggleNet a little bit, so it's kind of like J.K. Rowling is the god, so you pronounce her name right. But, you know, even I still slip up sometimes. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just like a weird disconnect that people...
You know what it is? It's further proof of the Mandela effect.
Ooh, yeah.
Boom. Don't know what it is? Look it up. Not explaining it.
Okay, Brittany. All right. So I guess I should open my book.
All right. So we are going to Act 2, Scene 1 through 10. So, scene 1 is... There's not that many pages.
No.
Dream, Privet Drive, cupboard under the stairs. So, my one-sentence summary for this act is Harry Potter and the worst living situation ever.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
True. So, to be honest, it's been about 2 weeks since I've read this. So
it's a dream that we got brought back to under the cupboard at Privet Drive, where Harry is a young boy.
Yeah. So I don't know about you, but I mean, this dream I think was more necessary than the other dream, because the other dream was just like recounting what we've already seen, where this is like a completely new scene.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting scene, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, tell me why you found it interesting first, and then I'll...
Well, because it has a lot of depth to Harry Potter's character that I think that not necessarily was grazed over in the Harry Potter books, but the fact it's... So, we are brought in mid-argument between Harry and Aunt Petunia about how he has wet the bed again.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he is older now. I'm not sure how old he is, but old enough to recognize that he should be embarrassed for wetting the bed.
Right, yeah.
I made a note about Aunt Petunia, her first, long quote. So I suppose it's only ourselves we've got to blame that you've turned out such a limp disappointment. I'm like, oh, God. That Aunt Petunia is colored in a light from the Harry Potter books as being kind of mild-tempered. She hates Harry.
Right.
But because it is the son of her sister, whom she really loved until she went off to school, this is just painting in her a completely different, brutal person. And I just found it very interesting. And plus, him wetting the bed is classic signs of emotional abuse in young children, and also serial killers. Look out! So it's interesting to add that portion to the book.
I agree. I definitely think, as much as I view this scene as kind of like, I still don't think it's necessary. However, I agree with you. I love. It gives more depth, like you said. It's not that the Harry Potter books lacked this depth to Harry being, quote-unquote, abused. I mean, he was by his aunt and uncle. But the fact is that it kind of grazes over things. Like, it doesn't acknowledge things. It kind of just hints at things. Where this, that adds, a very deep cut.
It really does.
Yeah, like him wetting the bed and that, and her language toward him. It's very, it's much more adult.
Disgusting boy. Only animals wet themselves. Animals... disgusting little boys.
Yeah.
That is really, brutal, Aunt Petunia.
Yeah. So, I like that. I like the scene. I'm not sure if I would want it in the... I'm not sure if I find it entirely necessary, but I have to stress that I do really like it.
Yeah. I think it's just supposed to really... Now, have they gone... remind me, have they gotten back in time yet?
Let me see.
For the first time? They have.
They yes.
Fucked up the first thing.
Yes, they did.
So, do you by chance think, because they went back and messed up the first task for Cedric Diggory, this is a reflection?
Well, actually, just kidding. No, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh, it hasn't?
Yeah, no, it hasn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it did.
No. The first scene we see with Harry after it happens is when he's in the hospital wing with Albus.
That's true.
So,
okay.
yeah, so it
I
hasn't.
retract all of that.
Yeah, but that's why I knew where you were going with it. So, yeah.
Okay, so this is actually this is a non-alterated timeline for Harry. So this then did truly happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty rough. But I think the purpose of putting this portion in is to bring back Voldemort's voice. He's coming, he's coming. Words said in an unmistakable voice, the voice of Voldemort, Harry Potter. That's the stage direction. So I think it's just supposed to recall that he is being haunted currently by these dreams.
Okay.
So.
Do you think... I like the idea of him being haunted by Voldemort still.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's what the play is going for?
I have no idea.
How far have you gotten?
I have, truth be told,
I
have gotten to Act 3, Scene 7. Okay. So, not far from where we're going to be ending next session.
Right.
It's basically, I'm on the second timeline.
Okay.
For spoiler alert, I believe there's 3 timelines in this. One
think.
for every task.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think you're, well, 3 counting. Hold on, let me think in my head. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is 3.
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
So I'm on the second timeline.
Okay.
Which is fantastic so far.
Mm.
I like it, but I don't like it. So
I was gonna say, like, I don't think I like. Yeah.
Tune back in a week.
A week for you folks.
Yeah, a week for you guys.
But for me, when I read this, like, I like the idea, like I said, of him being haunted by Voldemort in his dreams. Mm-hmm. But, like, as I was reading this, I just had this overwhelming feeling that, like, it's not just, like, a dream. It's something that's going to be coming back. Like, it's not something that's just haunting him.
Yeah.
But that's speaking purely as, like, the first time I read this.
Yeah.
So I say that without spoilers, without anything, just what I felt when I first read this. Mm-hmm. And I was annoyed.
I don't want Voldemort to come back. He's dead. God damn it.
Yeah. But, you know.
Also, I apologize for all the cursing. I think it was the end of season 2.
I didn't even notice.
Tatiana texted me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were in that group. And she's like, God damn, Brittany, you were cursing a lot.
I didn't even notice, so. Oh, wow.
Oh.
I love how you said that as you're drinking.
I know.
Wow.
It's so echoed everywhere as I'm drinking alcohol.
It's great. It's great. All right, let's move on to scene 2. Act 2, scene 2.
So that's all that happened in scene 1 is Harry had a dream of his life at Privet Drive.
Correct.
So scene 2, Harry and Ginny Potter's house, the staircase. Harry Potter and the boy who sees. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So my first note here is the stage direction says, it says Harry and Ginny Potter's house, staircase. Right. Mm-hmm. So that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
What does that mean? Like, because to me that means on the staircase, but then there's never a scene on the staircase. He's in bed.
What? No. You don't have to. They don't have to be in bed. They don't say that they're in bed.
So he's sleeping on the staircase?
Awakes in the dark. Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. I didn't read the awakes in the darkness.
But he could, it could be dark in the staircase, but why would he be sleeping there?
In the staircase, yeah. Unless he was sleepwalking.
Maybe, but I feel like that's reaching. I don't know. I love how you're just like, oh.
I'm just trying to justify it.
Yeah.
I think maybe, because the last scene, they were the cupboard under the stairs. So maybe it was supposed to be like a transition.
Maybe.
So him going upstairs.
So maybe that's just a failing on this script to write that he was maybe sleepwalking. Maybe in the play. I don't know. Yeah, because I definitely see what you mean with that transition. That could be good, but we don't know.
Because can you imagine, like, if you see a staircase like sitting in the middle of a screen and the cupboard being opened underneath and you see young Harry and then emerging from the cupboard, closing it and walking off scene and the light pops up and Harry's on the staircase as well, adult Harry. So that would be cool.
That'd be a cool stage direction.
Yeah.
So
I should be a director.
You should be. You should be, Brittany. You'd write a better play than this one.
Probably. I never wrote a play before. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is the first draft. I had to keep that in mind. This is the first draft.
Yeah, but I can't even give it that pleasantry. What was I going to say? That's not the right word. I can't give it that authority. Leeway. Maybe leeway is the best word. I don't want to give it that justification. Slack. Yeah, I don't want to slack off because I'm not sure. We don't know what it ended up being, but like,
I'm really curious what it looks like now. having been on Broadway for quite some time now. It's been a few months.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I do want to see it, but I just don't want to pay for it. I don't want to give my money to it.
Well, we have a surprise later on about that.
That's true. I thought you were going to say, well, we have a surprise, Danielle. I got tickets for
my
free.
God, that would have been awful.
And I was
for me to lead you up to that. I apologize.
Because I was sitting here and I was like, did you win tickets or something? Like, what's happening right now?
Somebody was selling them on the Potterotica.
Were they?
Was it Potterotica or was it another group I'm in?
I haven't seen, because I ended up not leaving the group, but like blocking it from my feed because it just took up all my feed.
There's a lot of people that pose.
Yeah, and Facebook changed their feed thing now.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we're like, now it is in order and it doesn't change. At least for me, it doesn't. So whenever I like go to Facebook, it's the same thing over and over. So I can never see what other people post. Mm-hmm. It's weird. So that's why I ended up blocking, not blocking, but just
unfollowing.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But yeah, so I don't know.
So anyways, back to scene 2.
Yes. So Harry talks about his dream, how he saw Albus in Durmstrang. Durmstrang.
When did this happen during his dream? He dreamed about Perfect Drive.
I know, that's what I mean. Like, he didn't dream about that, so okay. And okay, so like you said, like, is Harry a seer now? Like, is that what this is? Like, does Harry have abilities to see into the future, like Professor Trelawney?
Well, no, absolutely not. He
does
not have that ability.
We say no, but
I'm firmly in the know of that.
I want to be in the know, but let's talk about this play, though.
I think possibly because we see later on that they are in Drumstang robes. Could, even though this is the current timeline, the hop be slowly seeping into the past of the current timeline?
Ugh. God, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they're just trying to foreshadow. I don't know. So
right.
that's my only. That is my only like explanation for it, and I only know that because I've read the next couple of scenes.
Right.
I would not have known that seeing the play.
I guess like the fact like if he was just like okay, if this was all like okay. I know you don't like me bringing this up all the time, but Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones, there's a scene, which is like a penultimate scene. It's like the most famous scene from the books.
Okay.
Where Daenerys enters this thing called the House of the Undying. So she enters this House of the Undying, and she sees all these visions, and none of them are like accurate. They're just very obscure. So you really have to read into them. But when you actually do read into them, they're brilliant. Where he's seeing, like, he's literally seeing them in Durmstrang robes. Like, it's not like a clouded vision. He literally sees them in Durmstrang robes. So it's not like a vision that you can kind of read into. He's literally seeing the future. Yeah. Sorry, spoilers. I think we do talk about it, yeah.
And he goes, and then he says, Jenny, I think I know where he is.
Yeah.
So there must have been more to that dream than
that we didn't see
just in Drumstang Woods. Because where were they? Forbidden Forest?
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
So he actually can like see, like he saw the future.
He's seeing. Well, is he seeing the future or the present?
Because they're not there yet. They end up being, but like how many? I mean, because
because we left them in their forms when they drink the polyjuice potion.
Correct. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and Scorpius, we found the time turner. I never thought we'd get this far. Albus, mate. Now we've got this. Next stop is saving Cedric. Our journey has only just begun. Scorpius, only just begun, and it's almost half killed us. Good. This is going to be good. Like, LOL. Good job. I love Scorpius.
Me too.
He is him and Ginny are the only redeeming characters of this, and only because I think the only true person to the original 7 is Ginny in this.
I agree with you 100%. I love Ginny in this more so than I ever loved Ginny in the books. I don't say that because I don't love Ginny. I do love Ginny in the books.
She doesn't have enough FaceTime.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think we don't even need to talk about it since we're talking about this, but another time we can talk about it. So. Anyway, do we have anything else to say about this?
Nope. They think they know where Albus is. Not Scorpius. They only talk about Albus.
Yeah.
So that is the end of Act 2, Scene 2.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going on to Act 2, Scene 3. Mm-hmm. Do you want to read it?
Sure. Hogwarts. Headmistress's office.
Harry Potter and the Missing Child.
Oh,
that actually sounds like a legit title.
It actually does. That sounded nice.
Thank you. We have another short scene.
Yes, very short. Harry and Ginny are in Professor McGonagall's office, and they're basically saying that, you know, Harry had the dream, and he's saying that Albus was in the Forbidden Forest, and they need to go searching in the forest. Yeah. I don't have any thoughts on this scene, so I'm interested to hear yours.
Well.
Yes.
So, first note.
Okay.
They're talking about the Forbidden Forest. We don't know where, blah, blah, blah. And Professor McGonagall goes, I can give you Professor Longbottom. His knowledge of plants might be useful. And I highlighted it and I said, how? How is his knowledge of plants going to be any way useful finding children in the Forbidden Forest?
It's a name drop, that's why, but go ahead.
Exactly. Then, at the bottom of that same page, it says, Ginny, this may be my fault. I persuaded them to put out an emergency edition of the Daily Prophet asking for volunteers. And so I highlighted that because we know that she is the editor of the sports section.
Right.
So to put out an emergency edition for Harry's lost child is super duper expensive. Because this is the Daily Prophet, and to send out an edition, an emergency edition, they had to do at least 4 pages.
Right.
And they have to print it all, and then they have to give them all to the owls, and all those owls have to collect payment from people. This is in the middle of the night.
I'm Jim Halper right now in the office looking at the camera. Go ahead.
And then I have Ron saying, have I missed anything? I couldn't work out which flue to travel to. Ended up in the kitchen somehow. What?
Yeah, what? Good question.
Ron, you've worked the flue several times. Just because you're trying to end up in the headmistress office doesn't mean you get lost in the flue network. You don't even, you barely pick a place to fall out through, which fireplace to come out. You say your destination.
Right, yeah.
And then it's clear. It's oh. And you walk through. And then I have later on, because Draco's here as well, Harry says, quite a surprise to see you, Draco. I thought you didn't believe in my dreams. And then he put, aw, winky face.
Aw.
Because that's dreary and I love it.
Me too.
And then at my bottom note at this was, because this is a play, does everything have to be so dramatic?
Thank you.
Yeah, because it is overwhelming. This banter back and forth. McGonagall, they're in the forest. Maybe we'll get Professor Longbottom to help. Did I get lost? I ended up in the kitchen and I ate a lot of food. And Draco, where's my son? Oh, I didn't think he believed in my dream. Let's go find the kids. And, oh my God, I'm exhausted.
It's all spectacle. There's no substance. My note in here. It's interesting that you have so many. Mm-hmm. All I wrote was, this was pointless.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because I did not think we were going to be on the same page in that regard.
But all my notes are because it's pointless.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I agree with you. I hate the dramatic. Do you have any more? Am I cutting you off?
No, not at all.
Like I said, I just think it's all spectacle. It's just, that's why I hate when people say, oh, well, it's a play, so you can't judge it like a book. But just because it's a play doesn't mean that you have to use these cheap, ploys. Yeah, exactly. To get the audience engaged. You can have the audience engaged with your characters if you just write them well. They don't need to do Ron. Don't make Ron stupid.
I hate when people make Ron stupid. I mean,
right.
He's not the brightest person. Don't get me wrong. He really isn't.
Right, yeah.
But he's smart enough to do the things that he does. He has a lot of empathy.
Right.
And, that is his character.
He's capable. even in the very first book where he states that he has so much to live up to that he feels that he can't. And he looks in the mirror of Erised and he sees himself with the glory. Like, every good characters, and we've probably talked about this in like writing stuff, but like good characters, a lot of times they're influenced by one thing and then it kind of spreads out to other things. Yeah. So like Ron, that core insecurity spreads out, you could argue, for the entire book series, even by the end when he feels insecure with his own friends. It's just so powerful.
It is.
And this book is diminishing him to the comic relief.
Like, think about it. Even when they went on the first part of the hunt for the Horcruxes, he transformed or transmuted, transfigured, that's the word that they use, a ghoul.
Oh,
with red hair. So that's all he did, was put red hair on the ghoul and in his striped pajamas, and he thought that was a fair representation of himself.
Yeah.
He sees himself as a ghoul.
Yeah.
Like,
that's interesting, yeah.
That is heartbreaking that he thinks that is a fair enough representation of himself. Yeah. That you see later on, like, percolate when he wears the locket.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's just, it's heartbreaking to see this character, because he represents every insecurity any child, because Harry came from an unsupportive, abusive family, and he does not have the same insecurities as Ron, who came up in a loving, poor family. Right. Yeah, they were poor, but like they're a very supportive family.
Yeah, like fortunate in the love that they have for each other. Yeah. It's interesting, too, because, okay, so some people might be listening and screaming at us right now saying, well, that's like just your bias because you've read the 7 books. And let me put this to you.
You can't know this play without knowing the 7 books.
But even if, I agree with you, but even if, say you didn't read the other books, what would you think of this character, Ron? Yeah. That he's a blubbering idiot. Like, that he, what's the point of him being here? Yeah. Like, it doesn't change anything. Like, please, like, don't think, I hope people don't think that we're doing this on, like, a nostalgia trip, right? Like, no. It's just a shame to see a character that we both grew up with, like, and, you know, find to be very, like, I don't know, just, we love the character, and it's just a shame.
It's not his character, though. And
well, that's true,
that's the thing. It is not his character, because he doesn't become the co-owner of Weasley's Wizarding Wheezes, or whatever it is. I can never say it.
Weasley's Wizard Wheezes? I think that's it? Yeah, I think, yeah.
He doesn't become the co-owner.
Right.
With Fred. Was it George? Fred.
George.
Yeah. Fred dies.
Yes.
George. Sorry, spoiler.
I mean.
You should not be listening to this. Yeah. He doesn't become the co-owner of it. And, like, he does seem like an idiot. Even from the King's Cross, when we meet him for the first time in this series.
Yeah.
And he, like, steals Rose's nose. Not Rose's.
Lily's
nose. And he's like, haha, everyone's staring at me. I'm famous. Like, he's a clown. Yeah. And he shouldn't be a clown. He was never a clown.
I think, so for me personally, like, just to go, still keeping on this topic, but also talk about Harry Potter for a second, that the reason that Harry Potter appealed to me so much is when I was a kid, when I first read the books, I read them. I was never like a fanatic like most people were. Like, I just liked them. I read them and I got over them. It was when I returned to them a second time that I noticed, comparing the Harry Potter to other books that I'd read growing up, the level of detail that was put into each character. Yeah. And that is what kept me reading that second time. And what kept me reading a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time.
You read them so often.
And I will keep reading them. Maybe not as often, but I will.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is that there's complexities to it. That's why I think Harry Potter goes out of its way to be complex in a lot of ways that children's literature never had before. I shouldn't say never had, but popular in that regard, I guess.
And you'll hear next week when I bring up that point again.
I hope you do.
Because I'm just going to preface this, Draco.
Yeah.
I fucking hate what this play has done to Draco.
I know. We will so talk about that.
I am so livid.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear this. No. Anyway.
All right, let's move on to the next scene.
Please do. All right, so Act 2, Scene 4.
Edge of the Forbidden Forest. And this is the longer scene. The other ones
Oh,
are
you're
a little
right.
short. Scorpius Malfoy, the boys whose father won't hear about this.
Oh,
I laughed.
that's great.
Because Draco was always like, my father will hear about this. Scorpius' father will not.
He will not hear about
Because
this.
Scorpius is a sneaky, sneaky little son of a
He
gun.
is. He is. Oh, we love Scorpius. He's just wonderful.
So what do you have to say about this?
So, let me see. I wrote something down on page. Oh yeah, here we go. So in this scene, we have the boys in the Forbidden Forest, correct? And Delphi gives them the robes. Is that this scene?
Yes, and they're also learning different wand work.
Yes,
to use when they go back in time.
Okay, correct. And so, which is kind of funny because they're practicing Expelliarmus, which I think is a pretty basic spell.
Literally wrote that it's a second year spell.
And your father
is famous for.
I love that note. Oh. I mean, and I understand, again, I already hear people saying, well, it took Neville to his 5th year. Yes, but Neville was a character that was developed that way, okay? These characters aren't developed that way, so they should know Expelliarmus.
Oh, it took Neville to his 5th year?
Yeah.
To learn it?
He learned it in the DA.
How the fuck did they pass second year
Look,
then?
the Hogwarts school system is not very good. When you actually think about the Hogwarts school system, it's not good. Do these kids have a math level higher than 11 years old?
Well, I don't know, because back in high school, my chemistry teacher said, I forget what was his name, Valente, Mr. Valente. He had said that chemistry didn't click for him until his 2nd year of college, and that was his degree. He was getting his degree in chemistry, and it didn't click for him until his 2nd year of college. That is a long-ass time for it to click, so maybe that's with Neville.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's fine.
But still, both of them didn't understand Expelliarmus.
I was going to say, with Neville,
now.
it makes sense with Neville just because of how unsure of himself, how he was characterized as possibly being a squib before, but it makes sense for his story because that's when he's empowering. It's the DA that gets him going, that makes him the character he ends up becoming. I mean, we shouldn't talk about that too much, but just because, we'll take us off track.
Favorite. Go ahead. No.
Well, I was just going to say that it makes sense for his character for that to have happened. Mm-hmm. It does not make sense to have these two not know this, especially Scorpius, who is said to be pretty darn smart, smarter than Albus at least.
He's smarter in potions. He's a potions master. Remember?
Okay, my bad. Well, anyway, still smarter.
It doesn't make sense for Albus not to know it, though, because Expelliarmus is his father's, signature spell.
And God frickin' knows, and we're going to get in this next episode, how this play treats the 7 Harry Potter books as if they were biographies frickin' written for these kids to read. We'll get to that, but
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, but we'll find out.
We'll find out. Well, you'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. But my note that I'm leading to was at the bottom. Obviously we talked about we want to pick out the homoerotic stuff. And I love the stage direction here, where Albus is kind of talking, flirting with Delphi. Mm-hmm. Whatever. And it says, Scorpius appears at the back of the stage. He looks at his friend talking to a girl, and part of him likes it, and part of him doesn't.
I have that underlined.
Oh, oh man.
What should we call this? Homo watch?
That's probably the first time I've laughed.
You laughed so
That's... Oh my gosh. Segment. Oh my gosh. Homo watch.
Oh, people probably think I'm gay bashing.
No, we're not. Trust us, we're not.
We're just trying to make fun of
a trope.
A trope.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, what was it called?
Kill your gays? Is that what you're talking about?
No, when they try to
queer baiting.
Queer baiting,
yeah. Queer baiting. I mean, we're not going to, again, we already said this, we're going to talk about this at the end of the play. We'll talk about it more.
Stupid.
Yeah, but...
if you just create real characters, there's going to be homosexual characters. Well, they make up, 11% of the population?
I don't know.
Even more?
Yeah.
If you create real people... Okay. I'm not even going to get into this.
Yeah, I was going to say, we could go...
all on the spectrum. Everyone has bisexual... or homosexual tendencies.
I was gonna say, let's be honest, like gender and all that stuff. We could record a whole episode on that. Maybe we will. If
Oh my god, I'll get so angry with today's media.
I probably will too, because I just go on Twitter for a day, like just scroll
We're very
through Twitter.
passionate about this subject.
Yeah. Yeah. So we won't even. Again, we'll talk about that later in the play when we have everything compiled. The data. Hey, Brittany. Not to change the subject, but do you want the last piece of cheese?
Oh no, go for it, Danielle.
Well, there's 2 pieces left, so I thought,
You can have both of them.
I can have both of them?
Yeah, go for it. You can have all the cheese. And you know what else saves you cheese? Make sure you save that cheddar, put it in the bank, make that dough, turn it into bread, put your cheddar on that bread. It is a free subscription to Audible.
I'm sitting here like, I really don't know where you're going with this.
A free 30-day subscription to Audible.
Yes, indeed,
Which
Brittany.
also gives you a free audio book. And there's 180,000 titles.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. That you can utilize by using our promo code, which is audibletrial.com/BaBaT. And that will... Is that right?
No, you're correct. I was looking to see what time it was.
BaBaT, which will bring you to our sponsored page. Sign up. Enjoy whatever they have to offer you.
Indeed, yes.
Scroll through. We have recommended this before. We'll recommend it again. We are talking a lot about the Harry Potter series, so we highly recommend you know it thoroughly.
Indeed.
So listen to it. The voice acting is amazing.
It is, yes.
Have you heard any of it from?
So I actually, the one on Audible, I believe, is read by Jim Dale.
Who is I'm thinking of? Go ahead. I'm listening.
Jim Dale, if you might be familiar with if you've seen Pete's Dragon.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I know then.
Which is just a great little fact. But I actually don't listen to the Jim Dale ones on Audible. I listen to the Stephen Fry ones. Both are good. Jim Dale is the one you will find on Audible. So definitely check that out. I definitely need to listen more to the Jim Dale ones. But right now I'm listening to the Stephen Fry ones. And then maybe on my 9th read.
Oh, actually, I listened to the Stephen Fry ones as well.
Is that the one on Audible then? Maybe it is. Yeah. Okay.
That's Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
He is so good.
He's amazing.
I love Stephen Fry.
I'm not a huge fan of his reading in the first book, but I listened to the 4th book with him and I loved it. So I guess he gets better. But yeah, you should definitely listen because it's a different type of experience reading or listening to Harry Potter. Yeah. And I really love it. So definitely check that out. audibletrial.com/BaBaT. You get a free audiobook along with a free 30-day trial to Audible. The leading audiobook subscription service.
Ooh. Did you like how I slipped that in with cheese and cheddar and
it's
making that
wonderful. It's just so funny because when you were saying that, I'm sitting here and I'm like...
You were so confused. I was like,
Did my face... Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, is she like doing like... I honestly thought in my head, is this like a rap?
Like I said, I'm the queen of segues.
You are. And that's why you're brilliant. And I say brilliant because,
I flipped my non-existent hair because I shaved it.
It's blowing in the wind. No, because like those are the best ones that lead up to it. It's like, oh yeah, what's
I'm
coming?
so glad that actually worked out because I'm like, cheese. What is it? Actually, it's cheddar. Let's go. Dough, bread.
You were on a roll.
All right. So what else do we have to say about this chapter?
This is when I wrote that Harry is a seer of some sort because they're actually in the forest with the Durmstrang robes.
And okay. So let's see what else happens here. Scorpius is jealous that Albus is having a little bit of a love interest.
Yeah, he tries.
Which is weird.
Yeah, he tries to
14.
he tries to weave himself in the conversation so he's not ignored. Like it's like, oh man.
Delphi, great. Wazzo.
Yeah.
Wizzo. What's Wizzo? Crack the spell. I mean, it's pretty basic. Albus is such a bro.
Yeah.
Crack the spell. I mean, it's pretty basic, but I cracked it. I'm like, shut up.
Oh, God. Shut up, Albus.
And then, like, at the bottom of the the second page of scene 4. Delphi puts her hand in the air. Oh, okay, so Albus. Let me preface this. Albus. So we just need to mess up his chances supremely badly, which is, I underlined.
Ooh, yeah.
Gross. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Supremely badly in task 1. The first task is getting the golden egg from a dragon. How did Cedric distract the dragon? Delphi puts her hand up in the air. Albus grins and points at her. These two are getting along well now. And then I put that in parentheses. She's in her 20s!
Yes, it's weird. And the play doesn't seem to know that.
It is so awkward.
I'm confused because I was reading. I kind of forgot that she was in her 20s. And then I'm reading and I'm like, wait, like they're flirting, but like she's a lot older than him. Like
at least 10 years.
Yeah, so.
I would say. Like 25, 24, 25. Because she had to have graduated Hogwarts.
Right.
And you're, what, 18 then? Yeah, about 18.
Yeah, you're either, 17 or 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it says she's in her 20s, so let's give her some leeway and say 22.
Right.
Let's say she's 22 years old. That's still 6 years.
I'm disgusted.
That is... If you're older, 6 years makes no difference. My in-laws are 9 years apart.
I was going to say my parents, yeah.
But my father-in-law was 23, and my mother-in-law was 32.
Yeah.
That is still a consenting adult. He is fucking 14 years old. That is not a consenting adult.
Not at all. Not at all.
And you're flirting with a 20-year-old.
Right.
That is so weird.
It is weird. It's very weird. It makes me feel
uncomfortable.
Disgusting. Yeah.
And you know who else is uncomfortable?
Scorpius.
So
yes,
they're talking about this, their plan. Scorpius. Okay, 2 points. First, we are certain that the dragon won't kill him. Delphi. There's always 2 points with him, isn't it? Of course it wouldn't. This is Hogwarts. They won't let any damage happen to any of the champions.
What? Are you freaking kidding me?
Do you know what goes on in Hogwarts?
Oh my god.
Secret chambers, giant spiders, giant basilisks.
It's like it's trolling us.
It's so bad. And then Scorpius says, okay, second point, what's that word?
Significant?
Thank you. Point. We're going back without any knowledge of whether we can travel back afterwards, which is exciting. Maybe we should just, try going back an hour, say, first, and then ... I put LOL next to us. Here we go, Scorpius, the logical character of all of this. Like, my God. Okay, so they're doing the trio thing. Scorpius is obviously Hermione.
Oh, yeah.
Albus is obviously Harry. And Delphi is Ron. And it is, I hate everything that's going on because you have the dullard adult that's like, let's go. Yeah. Like, who cares? I'm goofy.
That was good.
Thanks. I try.
You'll.
I kill them all. Yeah. There's I forget who maybe Filthy Frank. Yeah. I forget who it is. I'll have to get the link and put it in our show notes. But it's it's somebody doing an impression of Goofy on trial for murder.
Oh,
and he's like,
no.
I killed them all. The devil made me do it.
Whoa, Goofy, that was dark.
Like Kevin and I sit there and we quote it.
Really? That means it's a good video. Oh, those are the best videos.
Damn it.
There's a video, I'd have to find it because I haven't watched it in full, but it's a cover of Evanescence's Bring Me to Life song, but it's sung by Goofy. So he's going, wake me up.
Wake me up inside.
Yeah. And he's like, save me.
Save me from this. I don't know.
I haven't heard the whole song. I've only heard like the main part. So there you go, folks. Never thought you'd hear that before. Now did ya? Well, there you go. This is Books as Bad as Twilight. We're here all week. I mean, we're here Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, there we go.
We're good. Yeah,
that's close enough all week.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what else do I have? What do you have written? Anything else?
Honestly, no, I don't have much written for this at all. Yeah, I don't know if you have more.
I have Delphi. When they got the Drumstang robes.
Yeah.
Delphi said, it's my uncle's idea. When did they talk to the uncle? This is where we get confused with the time.
Right, yeah. Again.
how long have they been missing? Because they had just figured out about the time turner, jumped the train. Everyone's like, the kids are missing. And then Jenny puts out the notice in the Prophet. They're in the woods practicing. Harry's like, they're in the Forbidden Forest. Let's go check it out. And now here are these robes from Drumstang, which I don't know where they got them from.
Yeah, where'd they get them?
I have no idea. I also wrote that. Where did they get the robes? When did they talk to Uncle? It doesn't make much sense.
No, it really doesn't. It's freaking annoying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the timeline doesn't make sense at all in this. And it's frustrating, too, because I'm assuming when they found out that they're missing, that was a nighttime scene.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is
at
it
least
nighttime?
Yeah, because it's after they have the Ministry, like, because, yeah, I think it is, because it's once they're at Hogwarts. Remember, they have, like, that Ministry of Magic meeting where Draco and Harry get in... Harry get in that argument with Hermione, and then Draco leaves. I think that's what it is. And then...
Yeah.
Then McGonagall is there as well. And then they leave the train, so that's, like, late morning, early afternoon, you'd have to think. Well, actually, no, that's right when the train leaves. But they have to go to the Diggory's, that place that Mr. Diggory's at.
Yeah.
So that has to take, like, a few hours, like, not only just getting there, but, like...
So they're at the Ministry,
and this
figuring shit out, and during that time they're at the Ministry is when they jump train.
Correct.
Yes. Because it was after the Ministry, when they came home, there was an owl from McGonagall saying that they never arrived at school.
Right. I was assuming it was home, like, later in the night, meaning, like, maybe not night, but, like, dinner time.
Yeah. So they were in the morning, afternoon at the Ministry.
Right.
The kids jumped the train, went to the Diggory's. Then Harry has the dream the next day?
Or I'm assuming Harry has it that night.
That night?
And then this is the morning. So, again, where did they go to Mr. Diggory again and sleep at wherever he lives? And how did they sleep there?
And how did they get in?
Right, how did they get in? And, like, how do they not know that this is Albus Potter in there? Like, don't they have to check in? Or I guess they didn't check in.
Well, when we go visit my grandfather, Kevin's grandfather, my grandfather-in-law, whatever that terminology is, you have to sign in.
Right.
You have to sign in.
So.
And then, also, how did they get back to the Forbidden Forest?
Right, that's what I mean. Like,
what is the timeline? I am so angry.
This is why I hate this place. Once again, like, J.K. Rowling, even if, like, you could say, oh, well, she didn't think of this or this or this. She thought of a lot of things that, like, any other author wouldn't have thought of. Like, she knows, even though the magic, if you really get down to it, doesn't make sense, at least there is a sense of uniformity and understanding within her series that when somebody wants to apparate out of Hogwarts, Hermione's saying to them, no, you silly asshole. you can't do that. Like, there's limitations. Like, there are no limitations.
Security measures.
Yeah.
And, well, like, okay, does Delphi apparate?
Maybe.
They apparate into Hogsmeade.
Maybe.
And then walk to the Forbidden Forest?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Did she go to... Did she... It's down.
Did she go
to Hogwarts? Like, I don't... Where did she get her education?
We're going to find
confused.
out. We're going to find out.
Anyway.
Well, actually, I would argue we're not going to find out, but we do technically find out. But
stupid.
Yeah, anyway.
So then they're talking, and they learn Expelliarmus, which is the only spell they need to know. Yeah, Expelliarmus.
We got this.
So they learn Expelliarmus, and they're like, let's go defeat the first task. Scorpius like, let's test it out first, scientific theory. And they're all like, no, that's dumb. Let's just dive into it.
Why would we do that?
But Delphi, you stay here. And Delphi's like, but I know how to work the time turner. It's okay. We got this. These two 14-year-olds who... How did she learn how to work a time turner? But anyway.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that she doesn't come with them, and that just makes so many plot holes later.
I am so angry on so many levels.
I forgot she didn't come with them. Mm-hmm. Oh, that just makes so... Oh, yeah, I can't. Snacks.
And then she kisses them, and Scorpius... Well, she kisses Albus. He's like, good luck. Be careful. And Scorpius is like, did you notice she didn't kiss me? Why didn't she kiss me? You look a little pale. You're right and red. Like, and then they go. And they use the time turner.
So let's, do we have anything more to say about Act 2, Scene 1, 4?
Wow. Act 2, Scene 4.
Yes.
No, it's just that they were joking around, and my note was Scorpius is by far the most relatable character in this play. Only because like he's more fleshed out than any other character.
Yeah.
Which is strange because as our tangent we went on before, you would think that the original characters would be more fleshed out, but they're not.
You would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not at all. And it's
depressing. Love how we instantly went right back into podcasts.
We did.
After 2 hours of us just
has it
bullshitting.
Oh, man.
It literally has been 2 hours of us.
Nobody... See, when you listen to this show, you get like just the focus, Danielle and Brittany.
Yeah.
But what you don't get...
is that the fact that I drank 3 more glasses of wine in 2 hours.
I'm still working on my Arbor Mist. I've had a lot of cheese.
You literally drank 2 glasses from that.
Yeah. Well,
and I finished off a bottle.
I had some Half Moon cookies, okay?
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Which, had you never heard that they were called Half Moon cookies till
just
today?
black and white. Seinfeld. Let's go.
Oh, that's right, Seinfeld. Yeah, that's right. The
no soup for you.
No soup for you for 1 year.
Okay, soup Nazi. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Act 2, Scene 5.
Let's do it.
Where does this take place, Danielle?
It takes place in the Forbidden Forest. Ooh. And what is your 1-sentence summary?
Harry Potter and his lost son.
That sounds like a title, too.
It's a callback to The Missing Child.
Ah.
I didn't realize I basically copied myself.
I was going to say, Brittany, come on now. You're slacking.
I am slacking. It's really hard to come up with one.
I know it is. I couldn't do it.
Fucking like 2 pages of a scene.
I know. You have a hard job, and and I'm being serious when I say that. I couldn't. I couldn't. Like, I'd be like, I can't do this. F this book, and I'd like probably slam it down.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So they run into the forest, and Harry's like, Albus, Scorpius, Albus, which is also a very hard thing to like yell out into the empty woods. Scorpius is not an easy name to say.
Yeah. Albus!
Scorpius!
Albus!
Then he hears the sound of hooves. Harry is startled. He looks around for where the noise is coming from. Suddenly, Bane steps forward into the light. He is a magnificent centaur, which I would love to see in a play.
Me too.
Like, I just imagine a man with like a centaur like prosthetic on wheels, so he like gallops like on his 2 real legs, and just like the back end is just rolling out. I'm really curious how that played out.
Interesting. That's a good. I never even thought about it, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, cool, but like I say cool, but I mean like hilarious and weird. Anyway,
so what do you feel about this? About them being in Centaur Land?
Okay, so I think once again,
just your face when you got into that, like your eyes and your nose scrunched up. You're like, I think once again,
I feel.
What?
my feet were squeaking, and I wasn't sure if you could hear it in the microphone or not. Well, there you go.
Oh my god!
I'll just do it again. Yeah. Anyway, so
an entire bottle, literally. Well, other than Velvet, a burger today for 2 tomorrow. I don't even know what he says then.
No,
I will gladly Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh, I don't know.
I will gladly pay you tomorrow for a burger today. Maybe.
Okay.
I forget what it is.
Sure.
Anyways, go on about the centaurs in their land.
What I was going to say is that just like with the characters that we know and love, being given, this one trait assigned to them, and then they just go for it the entire play. Well, I think the same could be said with the centaurs, in my opinion.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because even though they're kind of one note in the Harry Potter books.
I was just about to say that. Go on.
But they're kind of. This is the hard part with Harry Potter, because like they're sort of meant to be, but then it's almost like dehumanizing, but they're not real. So like,
but they're also supposed to be dehumanizing because wizards aren't supposed to see them as humans,
right?
But secondary creatures.
Yeah. So, and they are seers, but like they don't say like there's a cloud hovering over your sun. They say things like Mars is bright tonight, which they say in the first book. Like they say things prophetic. I get like cloud over your sun is kind of prophetic, but like just the way they say it, it seems like they're working with Harry, which I guess they would do, but in their nature that they want to be separate from wizards.
So in this scene, just to set it up, Harry meets Bane, who he met in the first in the original series.
Yeah,
and Bane is an outlier of the centaurs, who prophesized about Harry, and he then later became a professor. He took
that was Friends.
Oh, Friends. So what was Bane then?
Bane was in it, but he was more.
He wasn't as friendly to Harry.
No, he definitely wasn't.
Why did they make it Friends then? In this play, because he was obviously more helpful to the wizarding community than Bane was.
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't want to, because I don't think he died.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. So, and then I'm wondering, like, was he ever accepted back into the Centaur community? Because I know he was.
Yeah, but regardless, after the war, it restructured everything.
You would.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I mean, but it is a good question. Why Bane?
Yeah, why Bane? Because Bane had the agreement with Hagrid. Is that correct?
He had an agreement kind of in the beginning, but they didn't really have a
Bane wasn't the leader, was he?
I don't think he was the leader, but Bane, he was brutal. He wasn't really sympathizing with humans. I mean, he might have had an agreement with Hagrid, but in the 5th book, I'm pretty sure it's Bane and another centaur who catch Harry and Hermione.
Oh, and they said let them go because they're only children.
At first they say that, but then they see them again. They're like, no, these are not kids.
And then they take Umbridge and rape her.
Oh, God, yeah.
That is, I know.
I hate that. Yeah,
I hate Umbridge.
Right.
She's the most disgusting. I hate her more than Voldemort in the series.
Most, yeah.
But, like, the allusion to rape in this made me so fucking uncomfortable.
It's disturbing. How
old were we when we read that? We were, like, 18, 20 at that point.
I was 16 when I read the 5th book. Okay. And I didn't pick up on it then, but I picked up on it on different reads. Because I think there's a lot of times in Harry Potter, I'm just going to say it, where there are things that happen that are... that are just morally
I winked at Danielle.
Yeah. That are just morally reprehensible, but because it's happening to a bad guy,
we allow it.
Yeah, like so this is a very little example, but in book 6 when Dumbledore comes to the Dursleys' house and he has clinking glasses kind of hitting them in their heads and stuff, and like we somehow think that's okay because they're bad people.
Or Hagrid in the first book giving
yes, exactly. It's insane. But but then again, it's the same book that let the Gryffindors get all these points at the end of the So like there is this like weird moral not ambiguity, but just
I think ambiguity is a
I guess
word
so.
For it.
Yeah, like where it's very confused. Like I can't think of any other examples at the top of my head right now, but
There's so many of them though.
Yeah, it's definitely been discussed on several podcasts. Oh yeah,
fucking Snape in general. I cannot. That is a tangent in itself.
Yeah, we won't even go there because I was going to say that'd be a whole podcast. But yeah, it's so. Yeah, how did we get on that?
We were talking about Bane's moral compass and then how it led to Dumbledore's rape. Or not Dumbledore.
Oh, no.
That would be so weird.
Umbridge, yeah.
Umbridge's rape. Right. Even though, because I hate her as a character, like, just being a victim of sexual assault, the rape in it was not needed, in my opinion. And that was even way before any of that happened. It was just way too much. For 16, 17-year-olds like we were, it just it hit a chord with me.
Yeah.
That was so uncomfortable for a young adult literature.
Right. You know, it's funny because I've always had this weird thing that I always feel bad for feeling, but at the same time, like, now that I've gotten older and I hear more people also feel something similar, I don't apologize for it that much. And it's always when you see a villain become the victim.
Yeah.
For example,
it's
like...
humanizing.
Yeah, like, so, like, something that always made me uncomfortable as a kid was the two things I can think of off the top of my head were Cruella de Vil, when she crashes her car in 101 Dalmatians, and her just, like, screaming out and crying. Like, that, actually, when I watch that scene, like, that doesn't make me feel good. Even though you're supposed to feel good. Like, she crashed her car, she lost. I don't feel good when I see that scene.
Oh, God, that breaks my heart, actually.
Yeah. And then...
And I don't even know that scene. I've never watched that movie.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, man. And then, Matilda, when they're throwing food at the Trunchbull and she's leaving, and the Trunchbull was gone, never to be seen, never to be heard from again. And I'm like, I know the Trunchbull was like a complete asshole and we wanted her out, but you were throwing food at her. Like, I know.
You also broke into her house, stole her chocolates. Like,
it's like, but that's a trend in children's literature that Harry Potter, it might not have borrowed from Matilda, but it's sure as hell borrowing from other pieces.
Maybe it's because we're adults now and we see.
Even when I was younger, I thought that.
That's
But I don't know. Everybody's different, so everybody interprets that.
I didn't have that realization until I was much older.
Okay.
Well, Umbridge is still the biggest piece of shit.
Oh, for sure.
I legitimately, like, when they talk about, like, the worst people in Harry Potter, people often bring up a Wormtail or a Bellatrix. I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, Umbridge.
Absolutely
for sure.
Not. It was Umbridge.
Yeah, for sure.
That was someone with clear intentions.
Yeah, Umbridge.
So I really did not. That's, like you said, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, I guess we should stop.
Itself.
Yeah. But that just shows an example of the complexity. Umbridge, I think, is such a good character because she has, on the surface, when I first read that book, I honestly was a little confused, even though I hated Umbridge. I was 16, and I was kind of like, but I can't think of, like, what she's actually doing that's wrong. That's what's so great about her.
It's terrifying.
And as you get older, you sort of recognize this more and more. But when I was 16 and I read that, I honestly, like, I knew I hated her for, like, reasons.
But you didn't really know why.
Yeah, it was like, like, even that speech she made, like, and Hermione's like, that's not good. And I'm like, I don't know, like, what did she say? Like, I don't get it. Like, so, yeah.
Hitler's youth.
Oh, man.
That's what it comes down to.
I would love to do a blog series talking about, like,
Harry Potter and
Nazi
Germany.
Well, maybe just, like, politics in general, but Nazi Germany and, like, other stuff. But anyway. So
on this, I wrote a couple notes. One, it talks about Bane. And he said, I did my part, but for my herd and our honor, not for you. And after the battle, the forest was deemed Centaur Land. And I underlined that and went, wow, so creative.
I know that. Centaur Land.
Well, good job.
Where's your roller coasters? Oh, boy. Centaur Land.
On the Tilt-A-Whirl.
Yeah.
And then he talks about the cloud, you say, around Albus, because centaurs are seers. They read the stars, and they put a lot of stock on the stars. And he talks about this cloud that seems to be surrounding Harry's son. And Harry goes, have you seen him in the stars? And I wrote that Harry Potter knows that centaurs speak in riddles. Like, why is this such a surprise to him?
Right.
That, like, and then he immediately jumps to the conclusion that it must be Scorpius.
Well,
this dark cloud that's, like, hanging around his son. No. Like, you know they speak in riddles. And Draco points out later on, and I don't know if we get it into this part, but he talks about Albus's loneliness. That could be the dark cloud. And it's like, well, yeah, duh, fucking Harry. Like, they don't say things outright because you can't look at the stars and get a clear message.
Well, that's another thing. I love that this book or play, still a book, but just thinks that Albus is just so important that they have
really
to...
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, like, it's not... And then they might say, oh, well, it happened to Harry. Yeah, because Harry saved the world. Harry was the boy who lived. There was a prophecy around him. There was a whole wizarding war surrounding him. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Albus, comparatively speaking, is nothing.
Just a kid.
Yeah.
He's literally just a kid. This whole story is supposed to center around Scorpius being the son of Voldemort. And then it's all about Albus.
See, I personally would really love what you just said if it was about Scorpius. If it was about Albus, make him more interesting. But even that, get rid of the time travel stuff, get rid of all the flashy stuff, and just have it be a story that takes place at Hogwarts that deals with this stuff.
That's too traditional. Traditional. What are you talking about, Danielle?
What am I talking?
Like the first book.
Oh,
or
so
the first series, rather.
Yeah. God for frickin' bid.
You follow the chronological events and character developments.
But they could easily make a different Hogwarts story. I mean, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are one piece of the pie. I mean, think about Percy's story at Hogwarts.
My God, that'd be amazing.
All right. So, anything else? Oh, wait. Real quick. I think this scene is still pointless. Because I get that they're looking for their kid, and that's not pointless. But, I feel like this could just be achieved in 2 lines.
It could be, but they need an avenue in which to bring it. So they have to put Harry in a situation where somebody sees this externally, written in the stars.
Yeah.
Somehow that Albus is being afflicted essentially by his father. We don't know this now.
Right.
I don't even know it later, but that's kind of the feeling that
so Harry's the Black Cloud?
I think Harry's the Black Cloud.
I actually forget, but yeah. That's a very good reading.
That's how I feel. Albus is surrounded by this Black Cloud, which could be essentially the reputation of his own father, which he can never live up to.
Okay.
He is not the chosen one.
Right.
He's named after the 2 greatest wizards of that time, but he has a reputation to uphold. He has a goal that he'll never be able to meet.
Ooh.
And that's the Black Cloud. That is the depression.
Yeah.
He is the son of a Potter
and
a Weasley who have been historically in Gryffindor. And he is in Slytherin, best friend with someone who is supposedly and rumored to be the son of Voldemort himself.
You're getting passionate.
Poor Albus. No,
I mean, poor Albus.
I don't like Albus.
Yeah, we don't like him, but, I guess poor Albus, but, not at the same time.
Yeah, so Harry's the Black Cloud, and Albus specifically says that to Harry. That, I cannot live up to your reputation.
Right.
I have a best friend who is ostracized from not only his family, but the Slytherin house because he's essentially a pushover.
Right.
So...
Look, okay, so I get what you're saying. It's an avenue for him to realize this, but I feel why have a centaur say it? I mean, you have Ginny right there who's hey, you stupid ass. You're the reason for people note. I feel like people aren't ignorant to this. They know that there's a strain between Albus and Harry's relationship, and clearly Harry is just not doing a good job with it. I don't know. I feel
but there are very specific points within this. Harry is dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
He's always been dumb, which is true to this book, to the 7 other, previously, is Harry continues to be dumb, which is pretty okay in my book.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can have a billboard saying, Harry, you're an idiot, and he still not think it's about him. You think the song's about you, don't you? Don't you?
Ha ha ha.
You're so vain.
He is vain, though. That's the thing. He always
incredibly vain.
Yeah.
So I guess Jenny could say, no, you need to develop this relationship with your son, but that's not going to click to him. So he's going to need a third party, an outside source.
That's true. A third party
doesn't.
Well, really then Draco kind of says it later. So why not?
But that's his enemy.
I know, but he listens to him later. When he says, this will be in our next episode, but when he talks about the Black Cloud.
That's what I mean, though. That's later, not at this point.
Okay, sorry.
From this point...
I still think it's dumb.
He needs a third party.
Look, you're the voice of reason right now. I still think it's dumb. I'm sorry. I still think it's dumb. I'm sorry.
I know. I don't disagree with you. I'm playing
Yeah,
devil's
no,
advocate.
yeah, totally.
All right.
Act 2, Scene 6.
The Edge of the Forbidden Forest.
All
Harry
right.
Potter and If Only Magic Were Real, we'd be able to fully see and appreciate the scene directions as written.
Ha 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 ha. That's great. If only magic were real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scene direction in this part, I feel.
Yeah, there
What
is.
did I do? Why did I write this? Oh, because of the fucking last part.
Oh, okay.
That's why. So, to set this up, Albus and Scorpius are traveling through time, correct?
They're not traveling through time. Well, actually, yeah, at the end they are. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm quick reading this entire scene.
No worries.
Oh, okay. So this is when they're about to travel, and Ron sees them at the very, very end.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just going to read the stage direction from the last paragraph.
Okay.
Albus takes the time turner from Scorpius. He presses down upon it, and the time turner begins to vibrate, then explodes into a storm of movement. And with it, the stage starts to transform. The two boys look at it, and there is a giant whoosh of light, a smash of noise, and time stops. And then it turns over, thinks a bit, and begins spooling backwards, slow at first, and then it speeds up. Which is awful writing.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing.
So 4 sentences start with the word and. It's just very bad writing.
Yeah.
So we go into this. They're talking about their plan and basically what they're going to do when they get back to Hogwarts, and how crazy fortunate it is. Albus is like, I'm nothing like my dad. Scorpius, you're better. You're my best friend, Albus. And this is mayhem to the nth degree, which is a very large number. To the degree of the power of.
I was going to say, I've never heard.
Umpteenth.
Okay.
Basically, is what it means.
Okay.
To the very high power of.
Yeah.
Which is great. Thumbs up. Great. That's just, I have to say, I don't mind admitting I'm a tiny bit scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that line.
Yeah.
And I wrote down that Albus is a freaking dick because his response to that is, you're my best friend too. And don't worry, I have a good feeling about this. Your friend's scared and you're about to go time traveling literally years ago.
Test it.
Yeah. So, yeah, way to be a friend, Albus.
Yeah, he's not a friend. So so Ron is like, Albus, and then they disappear.
Which
magically disappear.
What did they think happened? After they disappear, did they think maybe Ron didn't see them?
The number one fucking rule of time travel is to not be seen. God.
So what you're saying is that they've done a good job? That makes me think of Dumb and Dumber when he says to that woman, Jim Carrey says to him, he's like, what's the chances that I have of dating you? And she's like,
1 in a million.
And he's like, so you're saying I've got a chance? That's what I thought of. But I couldn't think of how to say it right. So, there you go.
Yeah, so that's it.
Look at us in the reflection. Look how professional we look.
So professional. I only see you.
Oh, really?
Because of the way the TV's angled.
I see both of us, and I think we look great. Anyway. All right.
So that was the whole scene. Basically, Scorpius again expressing his reluctance to do this. I am sorry, I'm a bottle of wine in. His reluctance to do this, and Albus says, fuck you, we're going.
Yep.
And Ron sees it. That's the whole scene.
Yep, that's the whole scene. Oh, okay. We have 3 more scenes. Wait, no, we have 4 more scenes because we're also doing scene 10.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So Act 2, Scene 7, the Triwizard Tournament, The Edge of the Forbidden Forest in 1994.
1994.
I don't have a chapter summary for this. I fucked up.
Good job, Brittany.
Thanks.
Well, let's see. Let's come up with one together. Bookmark falling out. Stay. Let's see. Okay. So you're better at this, but I'm going to try it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Harry Potter, or Albus Potter, and going back in time to mess with Cedric Diggory and Hermione's future marriage.
Good job.
Thank you. I'm here all night.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. It's not as good as yours, though, but, I tried.
Stop. It's amazing.
You're right. It is amazing. I'm taking your job. Oh, that was a little too loud. And I'm not taking her job. Don't worry.
So they go back in time, and now they're at the very first task of the Triwizard Tournament. Decades ago. About 30 years.
Yeah. Sorry.
It is 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, no. Okay.
We've been doing this since 5. This is last episode all over again.
I know it is. Oh, my God.
So, okay, they somehow, with never using a time turner before, no instructions whatsoever, land exactly where they need to be at the exact first challenge of the first Triwizard Tournament. That's not right. The first challenge of the Triwizard Tournament in 1994. And their task is to distract or to take the wand away from Cedric Diggory so he doesn't defeat the dragon.
I'm sorry, but even if you're a 14-year-old, how could you possibly think that that's a good plan that's going to change things?
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Like, okay, I don't even want to say anything because we've gone on so long, but basically my critique is stuff we've already said, that you're basically raising this character high up in the air to be this awesome, amazing thing, and he's a stupid poop who doesn't even know anything.
Stupid poop.
And, yeah.
So my notes for the following chapter are, we have, what's the announcer's name? Ludo Bagman.
I was literally about to say Bilbo Baggins. What is wrong with me? Oh,
honestly, that's probably where they got the name for.
Yeah.
So Ludo Bagman, who's the announcer. And I put LOL next to this part because he's like, hey, everyone, get ready for the Triwizard Tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Let's bring in, how do you say that? And if you're from...
Oh, Durmstrang?
No, the girls.
Oh, Fleur Delacour?
But if you're from...
BaBaT?
Is that how you say it? And if you're from BaBaT, give me a cheer. And it literally says there's a slight limp cheer. I will LOL next to that. Like just the French going,
Oh, yes. Yes. But let's not forget, folks, that Fleur Delacour is Albus's aunt. She's married to Bill, Ginny's brother.
Not yet, though.
No, they're married at this point. I mean, not yet here, but in Albus's timeline, they're married.
Albus's time,
so why doesn't he acknowledge, oh, that's my aunt?
That's weird. I never thought of that.
Why? I mean, a lot of people wouldn't think of it, but I didn't think of it on my first time either. That's so his weird. Freaking aunt.
That's like never addressed, is it?
There's so much not addressed in this book. It's like Albus.
I don't like that.
It's like viewing Albus's life in like a little pigeonhole, like this little big.
Also, so here we go back to Ludo.
Yeah.
Talking about Durmstrang's Crom.
Yeah.
Representing Durmstrang. What eyebrows! What grit! What a boy! There's nothing he won't try on a broomstick.
Oh God,
Victor,
the BDSM.
Crazy Crumb. Like I put what eyebrows ? Like why is that a
Ludo?
Is that a characteristic? Ludo, sit down.
This play seems to make Ludo Bagman into this like weird announcer that he was the announcer in the Triwizard Tournament, but like he wasn't like this. Like I hope if people forget the fourth book, like actually read the fourth book. Don't go by this play.
He makes all of us go weaky at the kneesies. Cedric Diggory.
God.
Wait, no, Cedric Delicious Diggory.
I swear to God.
Shut up, Ludo.
I thought you were telling me to shut up, and I was like,
no.
I'm just passionate.
I don't like that. And Harry Plucky Potter.
I swear to God.
Where the fuck is Lee Jordan? He would do so much better.
I mean, he would. I mean, technically, like I said, Ludo does do the announcements in the 4th book. But again, like, there's this play feels the need to add this weird dialogue.
Dynamic, yeah.
And it's like, I don't get it.
It doesn't feel natural.
It doesn't. It feels very forced.
It goes back to what we said scenes ago. Like, just because it's a play doesn't mean it has to be so dramatic.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, I keep hitting this.
You're passionate.
I'm very passionate. I talk
Smack
with
the
my
microphone,
hands. It's the Polish in me.
Oh, I'm Polish too.
Look at that.
Yeah. Sorry, focus.
Do you see my note for this?
That's nice.
What does it say now? Cedric's wand is summoned to Albus's hand. Okay, so they're at this first thing, and they run into Hermione. And Scorpius is like, Rose? And she's like, excuse me. First of all, they're in Drumstang's robes. They are in a different part of the stadium watching everything. Why is Hermione with them?
It doesn't make sense.
And, like, how does that... I give you dragons. If you're going to stand so close, says young Hermione, I'd rather you don't breathe on me quite so much. And then Scorpius is like, Rose? As if you didn't know you time traveled. Running into Hermione. Who you knew you were going to meet.
And also, like, okay, something I just thought of now is, like, when you time travel, like, is this time turner, like, really smart? Like, that transports them to exactly to where they want to be at whatever time? Because, like, they were in the forest, and now they're suddenly around wherever they held the Triwizard Tournament, which I'm almost positive was not in...
It was at Hogwarts ground.
No, it was on Hogwarts ground, right.
It was Hogwarts ground.
Right, yeah. But still, like...
Yeah, because also when Hermione went back in Prisoner of Azkaban, she did 3 turns, and they landed up hours before they needed to go anywhere.
It was like, well, she did 3 turns, so it was 3 hours before.
No, it was way more than 3 hours, wasn't it?
No, it was 3 hours. They did 3 hours.
But still, that was hours. That was like 2 hours before they needed to do anything.
They did a few things in between that time, but still, not like you said.
They
it wasn't.
Hid and they waited until Buckbeak or Buck.
They got Buckbeak because Buckbeak that happened before anything, so that was pretty quick. Then they did a lot of waiting. So
a lot happened in that 3 hours. Then. Oh my god. That's That's why I thought
a lot
it was
happens.
More than 3 hours. That's why I thought it was like 6 hours.
No, it's 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Brittany, you know what this means?
What?
Harry Potter reread together. What?
I know, we should do that. But
we
anyway,
wouldn't podcast about it.
But like they travel back all this time again, not knowing the physics of a time turner.
Right.
Plop them exactly where they want to be in 1994.
Yeah.
And they're right in the middle. They meet Hermione in their Drumstang robes in that section where she shouldn't be. She should be in the Hogwarts section.
Right.
And Scorpius is like, Rose? What are you talking about? Who's this Rose? I don't know. Go, Victor Crumb.
Yeah.
And so then the challenge starts, and Cedric is going after the egg and the dragon, and Albus says Expelliarmus, which is supposed to just knock the wand out of Cedric's hand, but it comes flying to Albus.
Yeah.
Fucking that's Accio.
The spells are weird.
That's Accio.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote in this goddamn book.
Exactly, because why does it fly to him? And more also, not only that, not only is the spell wrong, but then wouldn't people see that he cast a spell and the wand came to him?
Yes.
Wouldn't they be like, interference?
First fucking book. Hermione is hiding under the goddamn bleachers and whispers the spell to light Snape's robes on fire. And no one, was like, oh my god, who was... everyone was like, who was that? Why is his robes on fire? But, why are his robes on fire? Not his. But, that's... he's in the middle of a whole crowd of people.
Right.
Including people from this school. And no one's like, hey, you don't actually, belong here.
Right. I feel like there's just so much to complain about. I'm exhausted.
Same.
Yeah, so I don't have anything else to say. I don't know if you have more notes.
No, and then they slip back. Because the time turner's faulty.
Yeah.
So they can only do things in, like a minute or two at a time.
Why? Because narrative economy. This book, you thought Lost in a Book did things for narrative economy. Yeah. This is insane.
Insane.
Anyway.
So they travel back to the present time, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because they did something and the timeline had changed. But it doesn't feel like it.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, this is interesting. We'll get into this more really in the next episode.
Yeah.
But I sort of explained it to myself in my head that when they disappeared, when Ron first saw them, then they reappeared almost immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yes,
that
exactly.
makes sense.
Ron says, I told you, I saw them. Scorpius, I think we're about to find out, meaning if they changed anything. Albus, hello, Dad, is something wrong? Harry looks at his son disbelievingly. Yes, you could say that. Albus collapses onto the floor. Harry and Ginny rush to help. So it's almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
My argument for that, though, is if they go back in time and come forward again, that's going to change the reason why they disappeared.
That's why this doesn't... we might just want to wait for that. Because we'll get more, trust me, when we're going to get into it in the next episode, so we might want to save that discussion.
So, I don't know. It's just going to get so convoluted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll be. Trust me. Yeah. Yeah,
so,
we'll get there.
Act 2, Scene 8. Hogwarts, the hospital wing.
All right.
Do I have a chapter summary on this? Harry Potter, the boy who doesn't understand how school works.
So true. Oh my goodness.
So Albus had collapsed, and they brought him all to the hospital wing, and they're all doting over him. Is that the right word? Doting over him. And Harry has an encounter with Dumbledore.
Excuse me. Albus's namesake. And Dumbledore offers Harry some advice. Mm-hmm. And Harry proceeds to go, peace out, Dumbledore, and not take the advice.
Well, he takes the advice, but he misconstrues it.
He heavily misconstrued it. Yeah.
Well, Dumbledore also, not prefaces, because it's after he gave him advice, but says, I'm just a painter. Like, what do I know?
That's the most real moment in this play. Yeah. I'm just a painting. That makes me think, okay, this is...
It says Dumbledore. Ah, really? But what does my opinion matter anymore? I am a painting, a memory, Harry. Paint and memory. I've never had a son.
Right.
So Harry's like, Dumbledore, tell me what to do. I'm 40-some years old. I have 3 children. I am married to a wife who has 6 siblings. I am exposed to all this stuff, but I don't know how to raise my son.
And Dumbledore's like, I don't know, Harry. Figure it the fuck out yourself.
I'm so glad you dropped the F.
I mean, come on.
And even when he goes, he's like, you know what? Accept your son. Like, love him. Be with him. But what do I know? I'm a painting.
Dumbledore knows what's up. And...
oh, God.
Yeah. Okay.
Perhaps he's waiting for you to see him clearly. Talking to Harry about Albus. Maybe he's waiting for you to see him clearly, Harry. He is there. Be a father to your son.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? The best thing I could do is separate him from his best friend.
Yo.
Scorpius.
That's a smart thing to do. Yo. I'm smart. I'm Harry Potter.
Shut up, Goofy.
God.
And that's literally what this chapter is.
Yeah, like my notes for this chapter is, wow, Harry, what a dick. Because he decides that after listening to Dumbledore's advice, he thinks that the best thing to do is to separate or keep Albus from hanging out with Scorpius. Mm-hmm. And we also learn in this that because of Cedric Diggory not being able to complete the first task, that Albus is suddenly no longer a Gryffindor. Because apparently...
No longer a Slytherin.
Sorry, no longer a Slytherin. He's a Gryffindor. Because, as we know, when somebody time travels and there's a ripple effect, it only affects certain things.
The subject.
And it does not affect... It would affect everything. Whatever. We're going to get into that next episode, so I don't really want to touch on it. But foreshadowing for next episode, we're going to talk about the ripple effect. Anyway, so...
Yeah, so he is automatically a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
And Harry just does not understand why he's hanging out with Scorpius.
Yeah.
And then he gets so enraged with the fact that he disappeared that he's like, McGonagall, the headmistress. She will be watching your every single move. And I'm going to give her a map, the Marauder's map, to track you and follow you to make sure you don't hang out with Scorpius, Draco's son. Because Cedric died and now I still have a bone to pick?
Yeah.
Is that the phrase?
Yeah.
A bone to pick with Draco Malfoy, and therefore you can't see his son. Even though I don't understand why McGonagall will be monitoring this one specific student to make sure he doesn't hang out with another specific student. And
because she doesn't have better things to do.
That is exactly right. As if she doesn't have enough to do as headmistress of a fucking magical school of witchcraft and wizardry, who is in charge of hundreds of students and their curriculum and dealing with the parents of all these students who want to control of the ambitions and oh my god, she is a headmistress.
Praise,
but no,
Brittany.
You're Harry fucking Potter. It just doesn't make any sense.
If I were Albus right now, I'd be like, "Hey, Dad,
I'm exhausted.
Where'd you get those clothes? At the toilet store?"
Good job, Albus.
You know what that's from?
No.
It's from Anchorman.
Oh my god.
Hey, where'd
What?
you get those clothes? I'm not even going to say it again, but anyway.
The toilet store? I finished it for you.
Thank you. Oh, that's hilarious. But anyway. Yeah, Harry, oh god, whatever.
No, but no. Oh, well, you know what, though? Maybe he holds a higher power in this world because it's a different timeline, and McGonagall suddenly became a pussy and has to listen to him. Because Hermione, as we find out, is no longer the Minister of Magic.
Oh, yes, of course, because,
Cedric losing the very first challenge
look, okay.
takes away Hermione's ambitions.
Yeah, we're
to
gonna
just be a professor.
We're gonna
Not
get
just
there.
Be a professor, but you know what I mean.
Yes, we're gonna get there because God knows. See, I'm so mad. I know, we go on tangents and stuff, but it sucks that we can't talk about this tonight. Because when I read this today, because I read the part
You reread it, yeah.
No, I didn't. Well, reread, I guess technically, because I've read this before. But when I read it this morning, I was pulling my hair out. I was like, I want to die. Why am I doing this podcast? I could be reading better books right now. Why am I reading this play? This play sucks ass. I hate it. I don't know. Do you want to say anything else?
No, I'm mad because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Albus is confused because he's seeing his effects from 1994 into present day.
Right.
He just doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand.
Which sets up the next parts of the play because you finally realize that their actions in the timeline really affect the current.
Yeah.
So that is the purpose of this chapter.
Yeah. All right.
Act 2, Scene 9.
Yes.
Hogwarts staircase. Is that? Oh, okay. Never mind. Harry Potter and the Man Full of Angst.
Ha ha ha. He's still full of angst. It never
He is
left.
Still so angry. So we find out that Ron is not married to Hermione.
Correct.
In this timeline.
I get.
Punja?
Yeah.
No,
that's his son. He's married to Padma. Which, again, I don't want to get into in this episode because God knows we've gotten into all. I know we're going to talk about it next episode, so maybe let's not comment on that too much.
Yeah.
Because we're definitely going to get into that next episode. So maybe
What? I'm confused.
the relationship, like with him with Padma and stuff, and his son and all that, and that he's not married to Hermione, because that's
the one thing it highlights here is basically that Ron is a defeated man, basically, in this relationship with Padma.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he wasn't really defeated before.
Yeah,
but just kidding.
Oh
like,
no, but let's make
not
him
the
more
same
defeated and make his robes too short, his hair shabby, and him not have a backbone to his own wife. That he has to come to Hogwarts and confront his son.
Okay. I don't want to say because it's going to go on a tangent, but we definitely next episode we really have to talk about we'll talk about this. I'm going insane right now that we can't talk about it now, but it's just it will be so much better next episode because there are a lot more scenes that go with this.
Mm-hmm. So
anyway,
now we're in the second timeline. That's basically what this chapter is.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so
second timeline.
Yes, so we'll have to keep track of this.
Albus is in Gryffindor, Scorpius is in Slytherin, and McGonagall is responsible for keeping them separated.
Gotcha. Hey, I've got a joke.
What?
Hey, Harry, is it Halloween? Because you're dressed up like a giant dick. And it was a bad joke, but I thought it was kind of funny.
Because I wasn't laughing as I normally would. My mouth is full of ginger ale, and I was leaned over?
You were leaned over.
Leaned over.
Yeah, you leaned over, yeah.
Oh, God.
Man, I'll tell you what.
Let's get to this last
Oh, God,
scene
please, let's do it.
Done for the night.
Let's do it. We're almost done.
Almost there, okay.
One act scene more.
Hogwarts, the headmistress's office. So this is where Harry is telling Professor McGonagall exactly what he wants her to do this school year.
Wait, what's your sentence summary?
Harry Potter and the man who disrespects his elders.
Oh, so freaking true. This is painful.
I get so angry with Harry. Okay, so this is the woman you fought side by side with during the final war. The woman that taught you for 7 fucking years. And you're going to speak to her that way? No.
No. And yeah, the fact that he has the audacity to do that. It's just...
To demand from her. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. I don't know. My first note that I want to bring up is on page 121, the stage direction. So it says here, Professor McGonagall is full of unhappiness. Harry is full of purpose. Ginny is not sure what she's supposed to be. Like, what?
Holy shit.
That is so telling.
Oh, God damn it.
And, yeah.
That is the very first stage direction.
Yeah. And then...
Oh, my God.
And then Professor McGonagall later on page 122... let me see if I can find it. So I just wrote that she's laying shit down, but I'm trying to see line 3 and 4.
Dumbledore's dead, Harry?
Maybe. Yeah, or she's like, Dumbledore's dead, Harry. Or I can't do a Scottish accent. And I've told you before, portraits don't represent even half of their subjects. And she goes on to say, a head teacher's portrait is a memoir. It is supposed to be a support mechanism for the decisions I have to make. But I was advised as I took this job to not mistake the painting for the person, and you would be well advised to do the same.
But he was right. I see it now.
Oh, yeah, you see it, yeah.
Oh, God. It is so awkward and uncomfortable. But go ahead.
It is.
Expand on your point that you're making.
My only last point is that Harry's a dick. And I'm going to say that till this is... Wait, what? Oh.
What happened during the years that Albus and Scorpius changed that weakened McGonagall and made Harry such a dick?
Yeah, what did happen?
I don't know because this is a woman who is so proud to use a spell that she always wanted to use.
Yeah.
To like we said, to fight the greatest war of their kind. And to not say no to Harry fucking Potter, the one that she raised. Harry.
Right, yeah.
She was the first maternal person in his being besides Molly Weasley.
Right, yeah.
The person that he never wanted to disappoint. The person that when he sat in her office, when he confronted Dolores Umbridge, and she was proud of him, saying, take a cookie.
Yeah. Have a biscuit, Potter.
Have a biscuit, Potter. How dare you give her this piece of paper and say, you need to follow my son and make sure he's not hanging out with Scorpius. Who the fuck do you think you are to tell her how to run her own school?
Yeah, and I think this play seems to have the idea that, like, we're supposed to see it as, like, oh, Harry, he's just misguided. Like, misguided? He's completely on the other end of the spectrum. Like, he's far from misguided. He's just being an ass. Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, that's not compelling.
No.
You give me a reason for somebody being an asshole, and that's compelling. You're not giving me a reason. Mm-hmm. He is being, like, just such a jerk for no reason. And you could argue, oh, well, he's upset, but, like,
I don't get, and I don't understand, like, before they travel back in time, he had this conversation with Bane. And then we're in this world, and he said, well, Bane told me about this black cloud, which I believe is Scorpius. Would that conversation have been any different?
See, that's what we're going to talk about next episode.
I'm just so confused.
We're definitely going to see that. Next episode's probably going to be long, too.
Oh, God damn it, guys.
I mean, and it's funny because, like, we come to these episodes and we don't intend.
We intended this to be an hour. It's going on about 8.
Yeah. I mean, it's just insane. Just the amount that there is to talk about of just garbage in this play. And it's insane to me that almost every day I see people going to that play and coming out of it saying it was such an experience.
Sorry, just spilled ginger ale everywhere.
How dare you? It's okay. I spilled in my library book. I hope the library doesn't listen to this. I'm so full of myself. The library doesn't care. You know? I mean, they might care.
So the library probably thinks the song is about you. But no, I agree. Like, you have so many people saying how well this play was done. And I don't doubt that it was a theatrical experience.
Right.
However, if you're taking it from a literary standpoint in which it's supposed to be stemming off the 7 original books, it has a lot of problems. Because, like, everyone is talking about this play about being welcomed home back to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And if this was a standalone, if you replace all the names and not it be about Albus Severus and Scorpius Malfoy,
yeah,
I don't doubt that this would be a great play to watch. It would be an entertaining play to watch.
Right.
It is not an accurate play to watch. It is like watching a fantasy set in current time in which physics does not exist.
Right. Exactly. It's basically like, this is why I oftentimes don't like fantasy, for this very reason, that I find that there's a lot of fantasy out there, like, that there's a reason why I wasn't reading Game of Thrones books for a while. Mm-hmm. Or, like, I read only fantasy books that I kind of heard of through the media. Then maybe I would listen or read a book and be like, oh, okay, that sounds good. But, like, for me, I find that a lot of fantasy takes liberties in ways that are just so dumb that I can't take it. That's, again, why I loved Harry Potter. And, again, we talked about this, how Harry Potter is oftentimes not as good as it's made out to be. That being said, it's one of my favorite book series. Mm-hmm. What it does for what it did at the time when it came out and stuff, it
was revolutionary.
Yeah, and, like, it's just insane to me that we, as fans of Harry Potter, are letting mediocre entertainment slide, and perhaps people, it might not matter to them. I guess that's fine, but for me, I mean, you know, I just have trouble with that. I have a hard time.
You can make something as beautiful as it can be. You can have the most, like, exceptional score to this play. You can have the most brilliant actors. The set design could be amazing. The way that they have Voldemort's voice speak out to the audience in the play direction. You can really connect with the people on stage, but that does not mean it is true to the story.
Right, yeah.
It does not mean that everything that you have invested for 2 decades. We have been on this for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Just one play that has a skewed idea of what you originally read and what is true to the original story cannot be washed away by pretty set design. Right.
And what you just said actually is really interesting, because I had a professor one time. I took a novel writing. I mean, not novel writing. I had him twice. One for a Christian literature class, and then another for, I think it was modern American literature, like that came out in the 1900s.
Okay.
And he one time said something that's really changed the way I think about the novel in general, where he said, there's always like different artistic mediums that people lean towards. But if you're talking about like storytelling and you're comparing like a novel to, say, making a movie or even making a play.
Okay.
He says with a movie, you have to hire actors. You have to have a score. You have to put money into CGI and filming. You have to do all this stuff. But when you're a writer, you can go to the dollar store and get a pen and paper.
Yeah.
And I guess I am a bit biased towards books and, novels and stuff. But I think there is something to reading something at its just shaved down limit, like to reading a script of a play. Yeah, raw. And interpreting the story and not having... Now, of course, it's a play, so it needs those elements, the stage direction and stuff. But I think if we're judging it by the story, then I think a lot of that stuff is just, like I said, spectacle. I mean, sure, the actors could be great, but that doesn't make the story better. I don't care how good of an actor who replaced Hermione or Harry or Ron is. Like, it doesn't forgive the story.
Exactly.
But I guess we should wrap up this episode and talk about our website and social media and where you can listen. Oh, yeah. So our website is BaBaTpodcast.com. Also, note, it's like way late after this happened for you folks, but we had a poll up on our Facebook, BaBaT or BaBaT, and BaBaT won. So I'm just going to cry in a corner.
Shit.
What do you have anything to say, Brittany?
Yeah, find us on social medias, follow us, and give us a fucking review. I know you pieces of shit listen to us, because apparently appealing to you in a positive way doesn't work, so I'm going to insult you. Give us a review, only because we do want to talk to more people.
Help spread the word.
Yeah, exactly. We want more people to get Audible for their free month subscription. We want to know your opinions on books. And read more, because that's the whole point of this. We're trying to build a community where we read more and have intellectual conversations, even if you're a bottle of wine in. So find us on social medias. We're on Instagram, Goodreads. We're on Facebook. We both have a page and a group. We're on Tumblr. We're on Twitter. We have our Gmail. Everything you can find either in our show notes or on our website. So get at us. Tell us what you think. Definitely give us a review. 5 stars, always best, obviously.
Of course.
But if we are doing something shitty, let us know.
Email us. Yeah.
Leave us a voicemail. Do something.
Oh, that's right. We have a voicemail. Yeah.
Get active in our fucking community.
Please.
You don't need us to lead the conversation. Be a leader.
Look.
Don't be a follower. Independent. Pose your own questions.
Maybe I'm going on a limb here, but we come on the show and we talk enough. We love to hear your voices.
Oh yeah,
because we come over here, we're tired now.
We're so tired. We've been doing it for 6 hours.
I know, we're done with this book at this point. I mean, obviously we're going to record more episodes.
We're done
for the fans.
For all of our adoring fans.
Yeah, for all of our adoring fans. Where can you listen to us? Well, good question. You can listen on iTunes, Google Play, our website, Stitcher, and other podcatchers like Podcast Addict. Is that yours?
That's where I listen to us.
And other places. Just check out, because we're not exactly sure everywhere we're hosted, but we should be on most podcatchers. So be sure to check that out. And of course, we want to give some credit to
my big in Phi Sigma Pi, Katie Hartung. She is our image designer. You can find her. She does have her own website. It's Khart.
Is that it? I don't know.
I think it's.
Well, I mean, it will be in the show notes.
It's in the show notes. Sorry,
Is
Katie. I love you. Please.
I don't know if it is in the show notes. We should fix that.
In the season, you mean? It is in our original one.
I never name in there. Okay, whatever. I
it's
trust
Katie
you.
Hartung, or Caitlin Hartung. That's how she is on everything. And who's our music by this season?
It's by Kevin. I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but I'm probably not. McLeod, McLeod, I think.
Sure.
McLeod, whatever.
Hey, we see you, Kevin.
Yeah, does some great music work. We're very happy with our new intro. So, and with that, we're going to end this episode of Books as Bad as Twilight.
We apologize for the length of it.
Yeah, I mean, we hope they're not as long in the future, but honestly, like at this rate, there are just our visceral reaction to the text.
Yeah.
Is
we're very passionate.
Yeah, yeah. This is an interesting season of Books as Bad as Twilight. It feels so different from Lost in a Book.
I can't wait till we finally get to a book that neither of us are familiar with. Because the first season, that was all you.
Like, well, I wasn't familiar with it, though. I mean, I knew Beauty and the Beast, but yeah.
Beauty and the Beast. This season, we're both incredibly familiar with the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, that's true.
And so hopefully next season, which you guys should be voting on.
They should be done voting at this point.
Well, I hope you voted on.
Actually, they might not be. We'll check the schedule.
If the poll is up.
You'll see.
We'll see what we're doing, because hopefully it's something we're not 100% familiar with, or it's like old to us. So it doesn't bring up all these feelings of resentment.
I was going to say, the next poll, everything on there, neither of us are, like, even though I've read some of them, like, I'm not familiar with it at all. Like, I haven't touched it in years. So I think we're going to have a nice third season. Yeah. All right, folks.
Are you ready to sign off, Danielle?
Yes. So ready.
So find us on our website, BaBaT Podcast. Rate us, review us, let us know what shit you want us to do and how we're doing. Cool?
Right. Cool.
All right, cool. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.